every household, every business. The latest fuel price hike, and this time the explanation travels far beyond our borders. The escalating tensions between Iran and the United States have rattled global oil markets, pushing crude prices upward. The ripple effect, higher landing. Yes, higher landing costs, higher refining costs, and now higher pump prices here at home. But here's the big question. Should Nigerians continue to pay the price for conflicts happening thousands of miles away? Yes, oil is a global commodity. Yes, market forces are real. But Nigeria is not just any country. We are an oil-producing nation. So why does it still feel like we are at the mercy of international shocks? For families already battling rising food prices, higher transport fares, and stubborn inflation, this latest hike is more than just numbers or a pump meter. It means tighter budgets. It means tougher decisions. It means small businesses recalculating survival strategies. The knock-on effect could stretch across sectors, from agriculture to manufacturing, and deepen the cost of living crisis. At the same time, we must ask, is this the reality of a deregulated market? Is this the price of ending subsidies and allowing private refiners to operate freely? Or should there be a safeguard to protect citizens from extreme volatility? This morning on P&B, we are unpacking the geopolitics, the economics, and the local consequences. Is this hike justified? Is it inevitable? And most importantly, what does it mean for you? Stay with us. Let's get into it. I am Omike Joseph Matthew, your host. And of course, I'm not here alone, I should say. I'm here with my colleague in person of Chidi. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, OJ.
Yes.
Well, it's a very warm morning, and woke up to meet serious fuel hike.
How much did you buy
fuel
today?
The last time I bought for just the day before yesterday, it was 850, but today is 960 naira, OJ.
960 naira.
110 naira added on top. And one wonder, how do we cope? You know, the amount of liters of fuel I used to come to work is no longer the same overnight.
Wow.
Overnight, OJ. Well, and that explains why you're seeing my mood. I'm trying to recover, trying to revive myself, because it's a shock. I went to buy fuel, the same place I bought fuel, 850, just barely 24 hours. And it's 960 naira.
And you never can tell how much it will be tomorrow.
Well, if you look at the headlines yesterday, you know that the threat is just beginning to warm up. So I think Nigerians should brace up. Anyway, good morning, OG.
All right. We'll talk more on this in a few price hike, and we'll look at all the intrigues around it, like you heard in that monologue there. So wherever you are, it is nice to have you on the program. So we'll be going for a quick break. When we return, we'll review the papers and see if the papers actually have something concerning the fuel price hike for us this morning, or is there any, respite, coming our way. So let's go for that quick break, and then the newspaper review comes up next. Right, welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Yes, let's dive straight into the review right now, the newspaper review this morning, and let's find out our very first paper this morning. Okay, we have two there displayed on your screen, and the Nation newspaper and of course the Blueprint newspaper there now, Chidi. You can see, let's begin with the Nation's, newspaper. Yes, I think we have the headline there. El-Rufai's arrival, security breach, 5 for prosecution. El-Rufai's arrival, security breach, 5 for prosecution. This very story, I saw this story last night, and it appears that some security personnel are in trouble as a result of El-Rufai's ordeal in the airport. The other day, he arrived from Egypt. So it appears 5 security personnel are in trouble right now.
Well, we hope so, because we've seen issues like this in the time past, and at the end of the day, nobody gets to know how it ended up. This, for me, these are normal rhetorics we see in the media in front of the newspapers. The security breach and what happens thereafter is what we don't know.
No, actually happened. They said they collected bribe or something. I think they are accusing them of collecting bribe, allegedly anyway. Let me use your word.
Allegedly.
And collect bribe from El-Rufai for him to evade arrest. And now they are in trouble.
Well, we're not aware of that. we are just hearing that after it's about 2 weeks now. El-Rufai was.
I think so.
Yes. So how come the matter is coming up now? What's going on? These are the drama that we're talking about. This shows that there is no detailed investigation. At first, the report.
Don't you think they must have investigated these officials or this personnel?
No, we should not be in a hurry to talk about the issue of El-Rufai. Because in the next morning we started talking about El-Rufai, we started giving all the indices surrounding his arrest. Now, 2 weeks after we are here, who knows what we're going to hear the next 2 weeks? Now, this is not how you do investigation. Investigation is holistic. You take your time, you do a thorough job, then you come out and make this public statement.
We just have to assume that this personnel have.
But this will be an afterthought.
They have
in law, this could be seen as an afterthought. It could be seen as an afterthought. 2 weeks
and the question is, El-Rufai bribing those officials for him not to be arrested. There was an attempt to arrest him.
Yes, and there was also an attempt by people to also stop the arrest. We have loyalists that came to the
that came to yes.
Yeah, so which one are we going to be? What I'm trying to say is that now they were quick to report. The media were quick to report the issue of people trying to obstruct the arrest. We're also quick to report other issues surrounding El-Rufai, the hacking of the phone lines. But we're not quick to report this very one. So this, for me, is an afterthought. For me, it's an afterthought because we're talking about over 2 weeks now. What happens? Why was this buried for 2 weeks? Are you telling me that this whole thing was not captured in the entire attempt to arrest El-Rufai? So why leaving some things? Arrest it and let's face other issues because we have a lot of serious burning issues. America and Iran is fighting. Is fighting and we are buying fuel.
All right, so let's go back to the Nation and see other interesting headline there. Nigerians in Middle East sent distress calls as government halts pilgrimage. Nigerians in Middle East send distress calls as government halts pilgrimage. All right, and so if America cannot help their citizens who are staying in the Middle East, then I don't think Nigerian government can also do anything, because the American authorities have asked their citizens to find their way home, that they should use commercial flights and all that. And Nigerians who are staying in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, and the rest are sending some distress call now, want to come back home. It's like they don't know where this war will take us to at the moment. It could be the next 4 weeks, because Donald Trump said this war may last 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And so
from 2 weeks now heading to 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
You can see that it's gradually growing up. And we just like I watched the news this morning, and I saw that Russia has already started calling in for ceasefire, and the rest of them, Vladimir Putin and the rest of them, because as of this morning, we had over 1,097 people killed. Israel, reprisal attack to Iran, over 1,097 people killed. Over 300 women and children. So it's beginning to, the world is taking a very serious tone now, OJ. And Iran is periodically bombing all the allies around it,
Yes.
ranging from Saudi Arabia and the rest of the whatever the US have their own one or two
bases.
Yes, bases, yeah, you know, and Nigerians are everywhere, OJ.
Yes.
And there is no major country in this world, including Sudan, South Sudan and not whatever Sudan you call it. Nigerians are there.
In fact, Nigerians are in Solomon Island.
Solomon Island.
Yes. Solomon Island.
See,
when former vice president visited Solomon Island,
he was
he met in the Nigerian community, he was shocked, talking about Atiku Abubakar when he was vice president.
No, Nigerians were there to receive him.
Nigeria, he was shocked that Nigerian community.
The who says we are 230 million? I think we should be looking at 700 million.
So, all right. So let's move on.
But OJ is a serious concern. US cannot, if US cannot rescue, cannot provide any international support, then what happens to other Nigerians there? Because already the last time we have private individuals like the owners, MD of Airpeace going to, lend support to the Nigerians from Libya,
Sudan,
and the rest of them. Now we're talking about Iran, a country who has a very strong structure in battle. After the death of the leader Ali, we see that the death of their leader Ali did not even shake them much as the world expected to see. The reprisal attack of Iran seems to be showing that Iran is a formidable and well-structured, they have a structured and well-formidable military base. And that's why you see them bombing periodically. However, we are hoping that the war will not escalate because US is here to retaliate.
Anyway, we just hope that everything will be will end like you said, because it actually does not do anybody good, for this war going on, because it is human beings that are dying, not chickens. Even chickens too deserve to live.
Spoils of war.
You understand? Okay, so let's quickly check one or two other headlines in the nation before we now move on to our next paper. Senate gets Oyedele's nomination as minister. Senate gets Oyedele's nomination as minister. We'll be looking at this very topic this morning. The nomination of Oyedele as a minister by President Tinubu. So we'll look at that, how it relates to ethnic connotation and all that. So we'll be looking at that in the course of this morning. Fintiri, I have parted ways with Atiku. Fintiri, I have parted ways with Atiku. Do you think politicians have permanent enemies or permanent friends?
Oh,
they may be enemies today and tomorrow they are friends. They may be friends today.
That is in the words of Nnamdi Azikiwe. That in politics there are no permanent enemies and there are no permanent friends.
Yes.
These are what I call media war. Wars on the front of newspapers, behind closed doors. We always have politicians have this meeting they call closed door meeting.
Closed door meetings.
I don't know that door. One of these days, OJ, we're going to look for that door. Closed door meetings, and right in the middle of the night, you see politicians the way they party. OJ, sometimes I move around in the night and I see when you see these politicians VIP lounge, you see them. Drinking, exchanging bottle of glasses of drinks and laughing, and you wonder what's going on, what's happening at the front of the newspaper. People come and tell you that.
What is permanent with politicians is interest.
Chicken, according to the House man.
All right, sir.
Do you align with my interest? There's no enmity, OJ. So, Fintiri coming to tell us, I have parted ways. Well, we want to thank him for that statement. We shall see along the line. Sometimes repentance is allowed in politics.
Okay, so check out the Nation newspaper for all the juicy stories today. Okay, let's move on to the blueprint. Yes, Middle East war. Nigerians in distress seeking update on evacuation plan. Netcom. Nigerians in distress seeking update on evacuation plan. All right. We'll wait and see what the federal government will do in the coming hours, because those Nigerians who are staying in the Middle East really need to hear something from the Nigerian government. So whether there will be an emergency evacuation.
Commission responsible for diaspora matters.
Yes.
I think Abikele Dabiri.
Yes, Netcom, yeah. All right. So you can see the pictures of destruction across the Middle East, and I think we have pictures from Tehran, from Lebanon, and other parts of the Middle East as Israel and of course US continue their bombardment there. Okay, to economic matters now. Nigeria's VAT revenue rises to 2.28 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2025. Okay, as a result of the increment in VAT there. Okay, and which means that more money for state, for federal, state, and local government for them to share now.
Well, it has been
that is what it implies.
Well, long expected, because I think a few weeks ago we had the president saying that local government revenue will be increased to the tune of 15 trillion naira, and that's a good one. More money for them, and let's hope for more development as well. It's not the issue; is not the more money. I've always said I don't have issues with having more money, but I have issues. Let it translate to the dividends of democracy. That is just what is important, OJ.
All right. Okay, so let's see other story on the blueprints. 5 security agents detained for bribery in El-Rufai's airport breach. Okay, 5 security agents detained for bribery in El-Rufai airport breach. Okay. Handed over to ICPC for prosecution. It's okay, so the politics continue. Tinubu appoints Oyedele Minister of State for Finance. Tinubu appoints Oyedele Minister of State for Finance. Okay.
Could it be connected to the issue of the 1.5 trillion naira that has zero disbursement? Last week so we had the Honorable Representative Abia North and South, that is Honorable Alex Mascot, coming out to say that he was a member of the loans and whatever. I think the particular the unity in the House of Rep, and he said under his watch he saw that he discovered that 1.5 trillion, that was the issue we even discussed yesterday, that was allocated for project, capital project, with zero disbursement. And when the Minister of Finance, Edom, was asked, and he allegedly said he doesn't even know where the money is, and they should ask the Minister of State. And then here we are having another Minister of State for Finance. So I don't know if it is
connected. Could be linked, but it is at the discretion of the president.
Hire and fire.
Yes, but in this case, she was not fired. She was only redeployed. So,
okay, just a cabinet reshuffling.
Reshuffling. Okay. Minor cabinet reshuffling. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to our next paper. All right, and we have the Punch. VAT hits record 1 trillion naira as new sharing era begins. States, local governments pocket 903 billion naira under reversed revenue sharing formula. Federal government share dropped to 10% as subnationals gain larger slice. Lagos leads with 111 billion naira VAT allocation in January. Okay, so from the explanation Oyedele gave all this while, he said the subnationals, that is states and local government, will have the lion's share of revenue accruable as a result of VAT. That because that is where the development is needed. You understand? I think this story now attested to the fact that Oyedele, who will become the Minister of State any moment from now, actually said, yeah, this is what is going to happen. The federal government will not have more share than the state and local governments anymore going forward. So that is what the new VAT is talking about, because you get development should happen in the local level and state level. You understand?
Yes, okay. I think it's also a welcome development, but I think I also want to add to that issue of VAT. Some states generate more VAT than other states.
You want to bring this argument again?
So I don't know. The argument is still ongoing, OJ. Even though we try to sweep it under the carpet, but you see, in as much as government is bringing out good policies that that has to do with VAT, with him, they will have to do certain things about the distribution of this VAT too. OJ, it is only natural.
I think you see,
I know you wouldn't want me to dive into that.
Let's not dive into that. Let's just not dive into that. This
let's leave. Allow what happens in London, stay in London.
Let's leave that, because those people who will be arguing that we have, you understand, will say we have more population. We have population. We have this. We have that. You understand? So that is the argument. You know, this thing. In fact, that has been settled.
Until we get the next census, done, we will now understand. Because as it stands now, the last census was 2006, OJ, and 2006 is a long time from now.
Yes,
that's about 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
20
years, yes. OJ, 20 years now. So a lot has gone under the bridge after that 20 years. Yes. So we should do another census, because I was counted in Lagos as a Lagos citizen. As a Lagosian. So I think there's some indices and data that must be in place so that we can really determine who actually has. There's a lot of politics in all these things.
There's a lot of politics. That's why I just say let's leave that. Maybe we'll try and bring that as a topic. We'll look into that in future. Bring an expert. To
throw more light.
Yeah, to throw more light, to look at the politics in that and all that.
Because there was an attempt last year to conduct census. Was it last year or last 2 years? 2004?
Yeah, 2024.
2024, yes, 2024.
That was an attempt, but the cost, the president said the money MPC is asking for is too much.
Was it as too much as the one INEC is always asking for?
But that is INEC. INEC need to conduct election,
and we don't need to know how many we are in Nigeria.
How many we are. The president said no, the money you guys are requesting is too much, so there is no point for that, so it's all good for now. Yeah, okay, so let's move on. The punch. Okay, let's continue with the punch. And I see which other story we have. Iran tensions, airlines lose over 7.5 billion naira amid grounded flights. That is the cost of war. So this is the economy now, because flights can no longer, for those who want to fly to perhaps UAE, Dubai, Qatar, and the rest, because of this crisis.
Because the airspaces are exposed now.
Yes,
missiles are flying
everywhere. So
the radio could be missing.
Yes,
and some flights will be targeted.
So already 7.5 trillion losses for airlines,
especially international flights.
International, of course, especially international flights. That's why I would say, let there be peace. There is consequences of war, and this is one of them.
But some say war.
We are not talking.
War brings about civilization as well and growth. Some say so. Before most of the sane and developed communities you are seeing today.
It's as a result of war.
Yes, that they learn their lessons and they grow. When you fight, you come back and you get stronger.
I'm also aware that some wars are senseless. Some wars are also
baseless.
Are baseless. So I wonder how such wars bring development. You bring destruction. For instance, Gaza. Do you know how many years it would take
to rebuild
Gaza? So the next 30 years.
The war is politics, OJ. War is politics, and war is also big business for some people.
Of course.
It's big business for some people.
It is the 1%.
It's over 1%.
No, OJ. It is the 1% who benefits from such acts.
The manufacturers of war weapons.
They are the part of the 1%.
So what are we talking about? So war is big business for some people. They have to sell their weapon.
Yes, and all that. So
some people also sell their.
No matter what.
Some people will supply more. Pressure will be on their oil. Like yesterday, I said it yesterday. Now, whether you like it or not, some routes will be blocked because some of the international routes that moves these oil shipping lines passes through Iran. So it's automatically blocked. So now what happens? Look at the other side, which is Africa. So there'll be pressure on our oil now. And more money for us, but high inflation.
All right. So which other paper do we have again this morning? We have The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper, very faulty design, vandalism, neglect, endanger $3.4 billion rail overhaul. Wow. Faulty design, vandalism, neglect, endanger $3.4 billion rail overhaul.
Faulty design, OJ.
Faulty designs, yes.
So who should be held accountable, responsible
Of
for
course,
that?
the contractors. And vandalism. You and I hear every day that some people go, vandalize the rails, and it's big.
Vandalism is an internal issue. We all agree. It's
Yes.
part of those criminal acts that we all condemn. We're talking about faulty design. This shows that there was no due diligence conducted in the design of these things.
Yes.
This whole train rail line here. We can't be doing things. People construct rail lines and then it lasts for as long as 20 years. But we are just barely
50, 100
years. We are barely just how many years into having a very good rail line.
When did we even have that derailment? Well, it was sometime late last year now.
Yes.
The Kaduna, Abuja.
Yes.
And
here we are
as a result of the faulty design.
So who is to be held responsible for
the contractors?
What of those awarded the contracts?
The Nigerian
yes, the minister responsible who was there because these are things.
Minister of Transport.
The then Minister of Transport.
So there is no
and you see these are it's also trickles down to other sectors like the money construction in terms of buildings. And you see buildings collapsing. Now we are going to we have not even enjoyed up to 10 years, OJ. And here we are seeing what do you call it again? Wrong designs and the rest of them.
Vandalism.
Vandalism is a regular record with design. This company should be held responsible. They should come and give us a proper. Nigeria is not a dumping ground where you just come and do things anyhow and don't go. You see, allegedly, you see engineers that are not even as qualified as the ones we have here. And they'll come here and then they call them expatriates and they come here and do
whatever they want.
And then get out together. We should start holding them accountable.
All right, let's look at the remaining stories in the Guardian. The Guardian there with that, one thing with the Guardian, their headline takes
they always guide us.
economic tone. They're not really
and
into
they guide us
politics.
economically.
Okay. MDCN confirms negligence in death of Chinamanda Adichie's son. Okay, I think we understand that 5 doctors have been suspended for now pending the investigation, and that's really good. Then federal government approves AI, robotics, coding, cybersecurity centers in 6 varsities. Okay, I think that's a good one. Yeah. Middle East war lifts crude, pushes petrol near 1,000 as Nigeria counts gains and risk. That's what you said earlier today. More money, but when
more money pursue limited resources, we are not a manufacturing company.
We are not refining.
We're not just even refining. We even manufacture. We even import as small as toothpick. We are 90% importers of goods and services. We import virtually everything. OJ. Now it's time for us to look inwards, because with this war going on, we will have the money, yes, but you don't have the goods to buy.
Yeah.
And when too much money pursue limited resources, inflation is bound to happen because 2,000 people wants to buy this your very laptop, OJ. And your baby probably is going for 100,000 naira now or 150,000. By the time the laptop is not available, it's not coming in, and we have just limited copies around. The laptop will naturally hike up to about 500,000 because a lot of people want to buy it. So that is the scenario we are beginning to we're likely to see if this war does not stop.
Okay, so do we still have any other paper to look out for before we call it a day on the newspaper review? We have the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune carries this banner headline: APC governors consolidate as party pick state ESCOs. Yes, APC governors consolidate as party pick state ESCOs. Tinubu nominates Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance. Tinubu nominates Oyedele as Minister of State for Finance. Lassa fever hits 18 states, 28 health workers infected. Lassa fever. DSS arrests 5 security operatives over El-Rufai's failed arrests at Abuja airport. That's really interesting there. We've talked about that briefly. And the last but not least here is Middle East crisis. NCPC puts pilgrimage to Jerusalem on hold. Yes, going to Jerusalem now, I think is dangerous because of the crisis there. It's really
Not just Jerusalem, even going to Hajj now.
Hajj,
Everything Middle East now is on hold now.
Yes. Okay, I think that's all about it on this segment of the newspaper review from us here. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll dive into the issue of the day. This is the P&B morning show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. All right, welcome back to the P&B morning show right here on Politics and Business Television. Of course, let's dive into our very first issue of the day, and we are looking at the fuel prices and the implication to Nigeria's economy. It's no longer news that the pump price of fuel has increased. So, in the past week, fuel prices in Nigeria have shot up sharply. It's steered not by local policy alone, but by turmoil halfway across the world. So as global crude benchmark climbed, likely due to escalating conflicts involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, that has disrupted oil supply routes and sent prices soaring. Domestic refiners are passing those costs onto Nigerian motorists. Most visibly, Dangote Petroleum Refinery recently raised its ex-depot price of petrol by about 100 naira, a move that has forced pump prices closer to naira and 50 naira per liter in many cities. So, but is this hike justified by global forces beyond Nigeria's control, or is it a wake-up call about deeper problems in our energy market and economic governance? So this morning we'll break it down, the geopolitics, the economics, and what it means for ordinary Nigerians at the pump. Yes, I still have Chidi in the studio, and of course being joined by a public affairs analyst, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Oje.
Yes,
good morning, Chidi.
Good morning.
Happy to be here this morning.
Yes.
Thank you. Happy to see you too.
So, it's no longer news. Achidi was actually complaining about the pump price of fuel this morning. That 48 hours ago he bought fuel for 860, only for him to go and buy 960 yesterday.
Exactly.
Yes. So, what do you make of this sudden hike in prices of pump price of fuel in Nigeria as a result of something happening thousands of miles away from us?
Exactly. This is to be expected actually, because due to technological and information technology advancements these days, the whole world has become just a small village, a global, what we call a global village. What happens in one continent can be able to affect other continents. What happens climbs away can affect other countries. So this war that is taking place now, this conflict that's taking place in the Middle East, has direct effect on countries that are not even closer to the Middle East. Countries in Africa, countries in Western Europe, countries in Eastern Europe, countries in Asia will all be affected, because the Middle East is a strategic point of international and global businesses, because oil controls the world business. Because as long as oil does not circulate around the world, virtually every economy will be affected worldwide. The Strait of Hormuz is actually the passage through which oil vessels pass. And this particular Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz, has been blocked by Iran, who have about 60% control over that Strait of Hormuz. So as long as this conflict continues, then other countries, particularly African countries that are less developed, will actually feel greater impact and pain, particularly in their economy. Yes, this is my take on it.
Okay, I'll come back to you shortly, Chidi. Some are putting the blame on the fact that we do not refine. Because we do not refine, that is why when little things happen around the world, we get the hits. You understand? So just maybe a year ago or thereabout, that Dangote is refining, but Dangote alone cannot sustain the refining
domestic
capacity,
need,
the domestic need. And so we need to buy this oil from outside. And a lot of people are now accusing Dangote of hiking prices for something he bought locally with the Naira, the crude. He bought this crude before this crisis, and just within hours of the conflict, he hiked the price by 100 Naira. Some are already accusing Dangote of that monopoly that he's having now to a large extent. So what do you make of that?
This is not far from the truth, because businessmen worldwide always like to take advantage of the situation. When a crisis is actually pinching on citizens, businessmen will always look for a way to go around it and to take advantage of that. This is normal business thinking for you. But we expect him to be a little bit patriotic. In the first place, the idea for him to establish the refinery was in order to curtail the pains of Nigerians. So I don't see any reason in him actually taking advantage at the initial stage of the conflict. Because I expected him to, even if there will be consideration for hiking in price, he should wait and see how the global conflict unfolds. If the situation continues, because so many countries will now rely on Nigerian crude and Angolan crude and other countries that are away from the Middle East, I think that will be very good business thinking. But for now, at the initial stage of the conflict, it's not even up to 1 week. For a business mogul to start thinking of hiking the price of petroleum, when he knows that will actually provide more on the ordinary citizen, is very, very inconsiderate of him. Yes.
Chidi,
Well, OJ,
can you tell us how your pocket is feeling now?
OJ, the pocket is feeling very so sad. It's as simple as that, OJ.
Exactly.
There's no gain, trying to romance what is not existing. Fuel is the PMS, that's a premium motor spirit, is one of the major resources that determines the price control of goods and services in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Ranging from transportation to food. The cost of transporting potatoes from far away, Jigawa, whatever, to this place, definitely is going to increase.
Exactly.
It trickles down to everything, Maggi, salt, name it. So we might be looking at it as, when fuel sneezes, food sneezes in Nigeria.
Every household gets caught.
Yes, because you see, the man who has storage of Gary in his store now will say, after all, the fuel has increased. If I sell at the old rate, I cannot buy at the new rate.
Exactly.
So automatically, he's going to jack up the price.
Now, why does this happen? All this,
And I'm going to go to this shop.
Why does this happen?
It's a wake-up call for us.
Exactly.
It's also a wake-up call. We're talking about Dangote and the monopoly. The signs are there. The trajectory is there.
Exactly.
What happens to the cement? Cement is about almost 10,000 naira now. How did we get there? 90% of the materials used in manufacturing cement are all gotten from Nigeria.
Yet.
Some blame it on the fact that, okay, now the new technology of using cement to construct road as against the bitumen and the rest of them. Asphalt and the rest of them. Now, if you look at the Zuba Express, we're going to Kaduna now. I think it's concrete. The last time I went to Lagos, 6th of December last year. I saw that the Apapa Road is completely tiled with concrete down to Oshodi. Now, some are blaming it, and the coastal road,
Express road in Kaduna, a very long road.
It's also done with concrete. So people were saying, because of the high demand of cement now being used.
Cement that we use in road construction is different for building houses.
With similar materials. It's just like the fuel used for aircraft, and these are byproducts of each, all from crude. So I'm aligning myself with what Mr. Ibrahim here is saying. The pressure, fuel is the language of the common man.
Exactly.
In Nigeria, the common man, the man that doesn't know how to read and write knows what fuel is. And once fuel increases, he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble.
Of course.
So how justify is Dangote to increase? That is the
Mr. Ibrahim here just said it. It was hasty. Because what's our business? See, and this is
I think we just 4 days into the conflict.
This is day 5 of
this is day 5 of the conflict.
And the argument, if you go on social media, some are saying that this naira for
on our local crude.
Yes, he bought it from NNPC.
And the crude is from Nigeria.
He paid
with naira. The crude is from Nigeria. But no, I don't think it's 100% from Nigeria anyway. But my fear in all of this is this. Very soon, because once you increase this for a local domestic fuel hike, will now lead to something like companies closing, companies sending away their workers, layoff will happen. And then again, those who have food stock in their houses will now, even if they are food retailers, will now begin to think of hoarding the food stock. Because they know that people are getting into trouble. So a bag of rice that they bought maybe at 80,000, they will now decide to hide it to sell it at almost 200,000 naira in the nearest future.
In Nigeria, anything that goes up does not come down.
I think government should have a say. I think government should have a say on how businessmen do their business. There should be a law, a guideline, a rule guiding all these things.
Price control.
But because we don't have this, that is why at the slightest crisis in time, business people decide to take very drastic and unpleasant decisions that will affect ordinary citizens. And this is very, very unfair on our part. As much as I can blame the Dangote for doing that, I can also blame government for not putting in place certain regulations that can guide such behaviors for business people.
Okay. Chidi, we've not heard from Dangote. Maybe Dangote has his own reason. Maybe we are only assuming that, okay, he bought this thing locally. Why should he? Maybe there are other variables.
We understand the reasons, OJ, but what I'm saying in connection with what Alhaji Ibrahim here is saying is that the decision is quite hasty. For me, it's hasty. It's just barely 72 hours. Barely 48 hours.
What other countries did was to assess their fuel, is it storage or what their fuel reserve. How much do we have?
Do we even have?
That's what I'm telling you. Other countries did what they did. I think one other country, I think it is either France or something. They say, let's find out now how much oil do we have? How long is it going to last for us? Then how much of this energy can be used by homes and households and how much can be used by industries? We don't do this in this country. If the government maybe had put in place mechanism for doing that, the government wouldn't have allowed Dangote to take a hasty decision. They would call a meeting and say, look, gentlemen, we know how the global market is being affected due to this conflict now, but wait a minute. Don't start thinking about what to do now, especially as related to price increment. But the government didn't do that. didn't do
They
that. I
kept
don't
quiet
think
and
they
Dangote
kept quiet.
took advantage.
So the monopoly is
What do you
clear
think?
now.
Even if it is me, I will do that because I will take the advantage of the fact that there is no guideline from the government that stops me from doing that. I'll quickly take advantage of that because a businessman first thinking is profit. He doesn't care what happens to you. All he cares about is making profit. Even if making that profit will hurt ordinary citizens, most of them don't care. So I think everything falls back to the government. The government should be able to have in place mechanism for controlling price control.
No. Yes. Before we even go to that, I think for me, I don't think I want to agree to that aspect of it. The issue is not price control per se. The first thing government should do is to deregulate the system.
Which the government
it has already been done.
Where we don't.
Yes, the petroleum system has already been deregulated.
Yes.
In fact, it's part of the deregulation that made it possible for Dangote to establish the refinery.
The regulation, as it were now, it's not visible.
It's visible. It's just that other players are accusing Dangote of not align a level playing field. That you understand?
Okay, if there's anything like to go by, looking at what you're saying, it shows that something is wrong somewhere. It's either the regulation is on paper, but not actual sense of it.
Or it might have let other component out
because
the regulation
is on paper.
Things like no company, no refinery, or no business person can hike the price of petroleum beyond so amount at any given point in time. So you understand, price increase is supposed to be taking place just slightly.
And should be determined by the market forces too.
Yes, to be determined by the market forces.
Should be determined by the market forces. OJ, when we have competition,
at
some point in this country, we could buy SIM card. You carry the briefcase as though you went to buy one very serious. Yes, for as much as 40,000 naira.
Yeah.
But when this whole thing was deregulated and the market forces was allowed to determine the price, today SIM card is something you can walk up into the street. Last 2 weeks, I bought a SIM card for my daughter, and I just walked into one of the markets, and then it was activated with it just barely less than 1,000 naira. So this is the beauty of competition, you know, in business. But now Dangote is there, and we are yet to see anybody in sight thinking of even doing another refinery. We don't know if anyone has started.
Yes, there is. There is one. This Boa person, I think he's making plans to making one.
Then the refinery out of Kaduna refineries and Port Harcourt refineries and all these refineries, they should sell them if they don't want to.
And that brings the question: should we now do everything possible because of this kind of a situation in order to avert it? Should we now? Should the government of Tinubu now see how the 4 refineries that we have now should be resuscitated with immediate effect? Because if we are refining locally, I don't think anybody, if we are refining locally and Dangote is also refining, I don't think there will be any need for Nigeria to react. Because
permit me to say that the refineries in Nigeria is undergoing what we call in our local policy attack from village people. Because OJ, this has been on for years. Every government,
so
in and out, uses it as a subject of campaign.
Yes, these 4 refineries should be working. If the 4 refineries,
I think Tinubu's administration,
October, they keep telling us we've had a series of promises. See, the Port Harcourt will resume work. Billions of naira has been pumped in there, and OJ till now. I don't think any of our refineries,
I can see what you are saying happening, because if you look at it carefully, you will see that Tinubu's administration is an economically minded administration. And then Tinubu is a smart kind of guy, business-wise. He knows what is happening. He knows about the global conflict, and he knows what that global conflict can lead into.
Yes.
And he knows that he's leading a country that's blessed with petroleum resources.
Yes.
So I can't erase the fact that he might have been thinking, or they might have been thinking of ways now to take advantage of this crisis to actually redo our refineries, particularly the one in Kaduna and Port Harcourt, and even the depots across the states.
Exactly.
He knew that so many countries will now be falling on Nigeria to actually fulfill their needs for energy. He knows it, and I believe countries do that. During the Gulf War, I think there are so many oil-producing countries that have made a huge amount of money. Countries like Angola. So I believe Tinubu will be thinking, the government will be thinking along that direction too, because they will it will be very unwise for them not to take this advantage. Like yesterday, I was saying that war is not an unpleasant, it's not a pleasant something, but then there are people that take advantages of war.
Of war, yeah.
To realize their dreams.
Yes.
Governments do this to move forward their economies.
Yes.
And this is, we are not happy this is happening in the Middle East because it's even actually affecting us directly.
Yes.
Not even indirectly, it's directly affecting us because if you said it, that you bought fuel at a certain price yesterday and today the price has hiked, isn't it? So it's affecting everybody. But then our government should be able to take advantage of this. My only hope is that when advantage is taken, let it spiral downward, because sometimes government will make a hell lot of money, but then it will not impact on the life of the ordinary citizens.
Now Nigeria is making more money from selling of crude.
Yes.
You understand? But does it really translate, or will it translate?
It doesn't trickle down. It doesn't do that.
On the street, yeah, your foreign reserve will increase. You understand all that? You share money to the local government, to the state government, or to the subnationals, as it were, at the end of every month, as a result of more money that you get from this crisis. But the question now is, can we, take that political will in saying, let's fix our refinery, like you said?
There's something you are missing out in this analysis just mentioned now. Yes, we're going to have more money. There'll be pressure on our oil. We'll supply more oil, more crude. When you don't have the products to buy, what happens? And that goes back to the failure in agriculture, in our agricultural sector. I remember the last president of blessed memory, President Muhammad Buhari, said that we're lazy youth, to go to farm. OJ, now, and this security is also one of, so there are a lot of issues because we don't even have, OJ, if you have 2 million naira or 10 million naira in your account and you cannot buy clothing, you can't buy shoes because the protection is that we don't manufacture shoes. How many of us buy made in Nigerian shoes in the first place? How well do we encourage this? That's why I say it's a wake up call for us. It's now for us to look inward. We have to start growing made in Nigerian things now. We have to start looking.
You can't look inward when your stomach is hungry.
Yeah, of course.
So I think what government should do now is, one, consider fixing the refineries like OJ has suggested, and then secondly, consider putting in place mechanism to cushion the effect of what is actually happening now.
Yeah.
Yes, there should be something that can assist the ordinary citizen in Nigeria now, because everything will now skyrocket upward. You understand? People will soon begin to be unable to feed themselves. People cannot be able to pay school fees any longer. If this conflict continues beyond 3 months, I can't imagine what will happen to people.
3 months?
I'm telling you.
Even the 4 weeks that Donald Trump said.
You can imagine that. You can imagine that.
You're talking of 3 months. In 2 days, I bought for 1,000.
No, you see, I'm just looking at the long term.
In fact, I have a video. I think I sent that video. Saw that video. When in the border between Gabon and what's this country, women tie their children in bags to go. And there's a market where women tie their children in bags to go and sell. The military officers came and accosted that market.
So it's that bad?
And started untying sacks of children. Tied in sacks to come and said that they cannot feed. And they had no remorse doing that. I think it's the boundary between Gabon
imagine that, God forbid.
Congolese, Congo and Gabon.
God forbid. Despite our population, by the grace of God, will not reach up to that point. But please.
That's the video.
Human beings.
Sometimes you begin to wonder if this is state managed.
It has happened in time past. Even the holy books, we saw it where there was so much famine and 2 women go to part of the child.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate that we are seeing this kind of situation in the African continent and all that. But moving forward, do you see the prices of the oil price coming down? Because Donald Trump has promised that within the next few days that the global prices of crude oil will drop, even though he's projecting 4 weeks of this crisis. So do you see that happening anytime soon? Can we take Donald Trump serious? Because if the prices drop, then definitely we expect Dangote to remove the 100 naira he increased.
Or even more, sir. Let him even remove more.
Yeah, so do we see that happening? Or even though that happens, do we see that Nigerian factor where if something goes up, doesn't come down again? Is that what we are going to witness?
That's what I
There's
wanted
no
to
law
say.
of diminishing return.
Yes.
The price may go down, as Donald Trump has predicted, after the initial 4 weeks of this conflict. But just like I said, the Nigerian factor may always come into play. I have never seen a situation whereby price of a certain good will now go up and then come down in Nigeria. I've never experienced this situation before, honestly.
Even though it's going to come down sometimes.
I think
it's slow.
it once did. It once did during the administration of Omar Yar'Adua. I think he, instead of increasing the price of petroleum product, he brought it down, particularly PMS and diesel.
I think with a spread of 10 naira.
Yes, he did that. But apart from that, I've never witnessed such a situation happening in Nigeria. But be that as it may, we cannot completely rule out the possibility of that also happening, because people are now speaking out. People no longer take every shit you dish out to them. People now talk, they go into media and talk. The power of the social media has given the ordinary citizen the voice for them to be
speak
heard.
out.
Yes, and then most of the time, such voices are being heard by the government. So I think that may
By
happen.
government who actually cares as well too, because sometimes it's one thing to speak out, it's also one thing for one to also listen. There are two sides to this whole issue.
No, you can see an example of this, the usage of this electronic voting electronic something. People spoke about against it, and then the Senate had no option than to listen to the voice of the people and do the needful. So at least we are going somewhere.
Even though it's not 100%.
No.
It doesn't matter. At least,
Mr. Ibrahim, no, it matters. There was no need for there, Mr. Ibrahim, to be very frank with you.
at least something has been done.
It wasn't 100%. There was no need for there. Because
Before now, you don't even see 10%. At least now they listen and they did something.
The Electoral Act. We went downwards instead of going upwards.
Okay, so
as far as I'm concerned.
We'll talk about that another time.
so what advice do we have for Dangote? What advice do we have for Dangote? Whereby geopolitical tension happens and immediately he hikes the pump price of petrol, or his gantry price of petrol. What advice do we have? Any advice for Dangote, or do we just leave the businessman alone?
What advice
No, but his actions is the reason why
we have advice to give him. We have advice to give him.
Yes.
But whether or not he takes the advice and do what is being asked of him to do is another thing. What we are saying there is that he should first of all remember that he is a Nigerian. And when he was trying to establish that refinery, he said that he is establishing this refinery so that he will make life easy for Nigerians. We are not saying he should not rise the price up, but it is too hasty. And he has to make certain consideration before he now hike the price upward. So he should consider this and please bring that price, if not lower, to bring it to the point that it was before the crisis commenced.
Okay, well, I think I would like to I like to differ a bit in this aspect, because sometimes we forget to say that these promises are made by man. They are not gods, and man is made to fail, understand? So, coming to say, it's one of those things we hear from in our public space, in our political space, and even in the family. How many promises, come and say, don't worry, I'm going to make this happen, and make all those gigantic promises. At the end of the day, that's why the white man will say the action speaks
louder than words.
The voice. The voice can say anything, but the action is deliberate. You need to be deliberate in your actions. I have a friend of mine who I always tell him, I said, one of the ways, I learned that from him. I said, one of the ways you want to know the actual truth from a human being is to watch his actions. Any human being can tell you, in all honesty, I'm a very straightforward person. In all honesty, I'm a very humble person. But when you look at his actions and you look at his behaviors, you see that, okay, there is nothing honest about his behavior. There's nothing humble about his behavior. So these are two conflicts. The body and the voice are always conflicting when it comes to promises. They never meet. They will never arrive at any equilibrium point. Trust me. That is why sometimes politicians know how to use the voice, but they don't know how to use the body.
So does that mean we are not advising, we shouldn't advise Dangote to consider
You
bringing
said
down
it,
the price.
you said it earlier on that businessmen, Bangladesh is a business.
Yes.
What they think about is profit. They don't care. You said it here.
I did.
Yeah,
But
so that's
that doesn't mean he said advice. We have to advise him. That is why I said whether or not he uses the advice is another thing entirely. But we as Nigerians, we know how this decision is affecting people directly,
Yes.
and we know how painful it is for others.
You are
This single decision can be able to make some families not be able to fit.
Of course.
already some families cannot feed us.
So I think it is quite in place, quite in order for us to say, please, sir, Alhaji Dangote, look at the plight of Nigerians, your brothers, your sons, and bring back the price down to where it was before the conflict started.
Yes.
Well, I agree with you. Just like you have also pleaded in the time past for cement, and I currently, I think I have something to do with cement, so I can talk about cement.
Exactly.
I have a lot I'm doing with cement now, so I can talk about cement. So when I experienced it, I bought cement 8,500 naira, and allegedly we were hearing that one of the other manufacturers is Boa, something.
Boa, yes.
I don't want to call the name of the company or something. Trying to bring the price down, and there was some conflict. So it's in this business. These business players, they are capitalists, and capitalists,
of course
they are wired to think in a particular direction.
Profit.
Profit.
Relationships are about profit.
All right. Well, a lot need to be considered, because like we all have agreed, any kobo on top of the pump price of fuel affects every Nigerian.
Merua will take advantage of it. Even the shoe cobbler will take advantage. Everybody.
The government
that reminds me of the situation a very long time ago when the price of rice was increased. Then I gave my shoe to a cobbler to shine it. After shining it, at that time I think they used to take 50 naira. When I gave 50 naira, I said, Baba, it is no longer 50 naira, it's 200 naira. I said, why? I said, fuel pump increase.
Everybody take advantage.
So see how it trickles down.
Everybody
and then the answer he gave me was very convincing.
Well,
I said, so what has this got to do with this? Baba, I have to use transport to come to where I am now.
Yes.
I didn't try.
I also need to eat food.
Exactly.
Okay, so we just have to go now. Let the discussion continues. We're going for a quick break, and then bring up another pressing issues affecting us as people. Be right back. All right, so welcome back to the P&B Morning Show right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja. Now, welcome back to this segment where this morning we examine a controversial phrase making the rounds in political discourse: Urbanization of Nigeria's economy. It's a term loaded with emotion, raising questions about regional dominance, economic control, and the balance of power in a diverse federation like ours. Now, at the heart of the debates are claims that key economic institutions, financial appointments, and strategic sectors are increasingly influenced by individuals of Yoruba origin. Critics argue that such a pattern, if deliberate, could fuel perception of marginalization and deepen ethnic fault lines in a country already navigating fragile unity. In a nation as diverse as Nigeria, optics matter just as much as policy. However, others dismiss the claim as political rhetorics, insisting that appointments and economic leadership should be judged by competence, track record, and reform goals rather than ethnicity. They argue that Nigeria's economic challenges, inflation, unemployment, currency instability require expertise and experience, not ethnic calculation. The bigger issue perhaps is not just about ethnic group, but about transparency, inclusiveness, and national cohesion. In the federal system, perception can shape political stability as much as reality. As Nigerians demand economic recovery and shared prosperity, the question remains: are we building an economy that reflects merit and national balance, or one that reinforces division? This is not just about ethnicity, it's about trust, equity, and the future of Nigeria's economic governance. So this morning, we are looking at this. Is this a myth? Is this a perception or political narrative? Talking about the term, the controversy, or the phrase, urbanization of Nigeria's economy. So welcome. And I have my panel here, have a public affairs analyst and of course a former legislator, a former lawmaker who is joining us this morning on the program. He is Honorable Chief Otegu Otegu. Good morning to you.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's nice having you this morning.
Thank you very much, Nigerians.
Of course, I have Ibrahim Shaibu is still with us, and yes, Chidi is still with us also. So, gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Honorable, you've been a lawmaker before, and I know this is not a new thing to you. What do you make of that phrase, urbanization of Nigeria's economy? It appears that is the talk of the town now. Some people are accusing this administration of bringing in people from the Southwest alone, not just Southwest, the Lagos boys, as it were. So, what is your take on this perception? Is it a myth or is it just a political rhetorics?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the studio, great Nigerians, and I pray for the unity of the country. And I think that anything that will cause divisionary will be very, very unrealistic. Well, the truth is that from the past years, Buhari did the same thing. Mr. President came in, we thought he could improve from what Buhari did by trying to blend tribalization into the polity. And unfortunately, President Tinubu also came in and is doing the same thing, which is so unfortunate. Honestly speaking, I know we have what we call a federal character. Federal character symbolizes that the south, the southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, and all that. Everything should circulate. For example, just assume that we're in the studio and you are the one who is heading the program. You disseminate the program and I have my share, he has your share, he now got his share, including those who are behind the camera. They will have their own share. And each respective of each of us that is available here, you kind of having a take home to your people. And what you take to your people from this omen will now brush and make the people to understand that, look, This share is for your people. Take this is from the presidency. Even, in fact, when you are doing well, now federal character has been represented. Now, but if me and you that are sitting this way, we have the whole thing. That side will press down. And you don't take that, you have a flat tire. So the best thing is to make sure that everybody have. In order for Nigeria not to have a flat tire, there are other, well, if you say this on merit, fine, nobody dislodge, but you could also find people who merit such in every ramification part of our country. So it is always good that every part of the country have the share so that they can disseminate what they have, so that they can also test their morale. For example, let me quickly hit this point for you. Go to our scientific and technology aspect, or let's say Ministry of Science and Technology. Nothing is really happening there. Everything they are producing from abroad and they are bringing for our people to come and buy here. Our boys are here who can do most of all these things, who are well-read, graduates who have a BSc, who's even people with PhD are doing Okada. Why don't we bring these people to even man this economy, who read this particular subject in the school, who knows it very well? Every day, one allergy is always on the television and radio talking. And is that how the authority want to feel as if people should go to the studio? They look at them as they're coming to come and vibrate without not listening to get some of the point. Because some of the position, in fact, they're supposed to pay media people for consultancy, for suggesting for a way forward for our country. But I still believe that, I don't want to believe that Mr. President doesn't have a listening ear. If he continues his policy without not having a listening ear to Nigeria, to Eurobanize the country, leaving other people, then when other people come from another section of the country, they make it tribalistic something instead of the federal character that will unite us. I think it will not help us. But I think because of one or two times, if I begin to narrate, there are so many angles I could touch to match the point. But I strongly believe that the president, please, he should retrieve his movement and do what is right for the country.
All right, Malam Ibrahim, I'll come to you, Chidi, very quickly. Let's look at the finance ministry as an example, a typical case study right now.
Yes.
Now, Oyedele, the taxman, he has been nominated as Minister of State. So that means we are going to have two Yoruba ministers in that ministry.
And the CBN governor too.
Yes.
Yoruba.
You see,
the CBN governor is from the southwest. So what's going on? Do you think this is a political rhetoric, as some people want to put it?
no, I would rather see it as economic and sociological perception, which is seen whenever you see a particular tribe dominating a particular section, sector of the country, as it is obtained now in this administration. But tribalizing economy or tribalizing a government is not new thing, just like Chief has explained. It has happened previously from other in other administrations, but this seems to be the worst, because you cannot take the entire sector, the economic sector, and then populate it with a whole lot of people from one particular ethnic group. Because out of the 10 major economic sectors that we have in this country, 7 portfolios are being held by the Yoruba people. You have the Minister of Finance, who is a Yoruba, and now another Yoruba is being nominated as Minister of State for Finance. Then you have the FIRS. Then you have the NIDC. Then you have the CBN.
The line is countless. And still counting.
See, the only 2 portfolios left for other regions were 2 occupied by South people. I think is one for a northerner. The northerner is, I think, NDIC. Abi? Yes. So you see, this is very, very unhealthy. It creates disharmony. It creates tension. Ethnic tension within the society, within the country. And when this is continued unabated, it may lead to separatist agitation, which is very bad. No particular tribe, no particular people will be seen to be always being marginalized and feel happy about it. You understand? When you are being it lightly is one thing, but when it keeps happening persistently, it is very, very dangerous for the existence of the country. So because of this, we are calling on the government to consider looking in some other directions rather than populating any sector with people from one particular region. Because when you hijack the whole sector like the economic sector, what are you telling the other ethnic group?
It's completely unacceptable.
It's dangerous. This is one sector that determines how the country is being run, the economic sector. The economic sector is the life of every country. It's unlike the other sectors. Banks are there, the market determinants are there, how the economy is being run are also there. And you populate it with people from one particular region. CBN, Federal Inland Revenue Services. You understand? And then there's one key institution that is very, very vital also, Debt Management Office. These are key parastatals of government that should not be handled by one particular people.
All right.
That's my take.
Okay, Achidi.
I've been urging to talk because this area is one area that I have been expressing my dissatisfaction right from 1914, the amalgamation of Nigeria. You know, a great leader called Bafin Awolowo said, "I am first a Yoruba man before I became a Nigerian." You know, yeah, that was a statement. You know, and you see, this has trickles down to what we are seeing there. And why are we not going to blame more on the federal government? Even at the state level, it's there. This issue, I'm going to talk about it politically. I'm going to bring out the psychological aspect of it. There are states that some tribes will never be the governor.
Like Benue.
They will never be the governor. So this thing is you see, that's why I said that sometimes some of these rhetorics we make with our mouth and our actions, we don't back it up with actions. It is the action of the person that determines, you know, the reality. Like Mr. Ibrahim said there, that is why you see, you know, people rising up sectionalist behaviors here and there. People can see, people can perceive. You don't need to tell me that I'm stupid, AJ. Your actions can tell me that I'm stupid.
Exactly.
You don't even insult an elder physically, but some of your words symbolizes
Your
that
actions, yes.
shows that you are insulting an elder. In fact, it's a complete insult on the country, on Nigerians.
Number one root cause of underdevelopment.
Exactly. We are coming to that. Exactly.
What brings development, I always tell people, is happiness.
Exactly.
I'm going psychology here. OJ, if I like you, I'm likely to do whatever to make you grow. If you are my boss and I like you as my boss, I'm going. The reason why Nigeria is not growing is not because we don't like our leaders. We don't have leaders that we like. A lot of factors and sectors imposes leaders on us, allegedly. If I like you as my leader, there are some states when election result is being declared, you see that the mood will be so quiet. The state will not be happy. When the governor of Abia State was declared the winner, Oti, for 2 weeks there was jubilation and party everywhere. And today you can see why.
Until now, he's keeping a tab with the people.
You can see why.
They like him. Evidence are there.
So when people don't look at, when we play down on the psychological effect of some of these things, it is responsible for the wars, battles, sexual. We are one Nigeria on paper. We are not one Nigeria in reality. You see the chief of army staff, chief of defense staff. In fact, it was in a particular. I don't want to call the government that the brigade of guard has never been occupied by a lieutenant colonel. But a particular president made the brigade of guard lieutenant colonel the brigade of guard because he wanted the man from his extraction to be there.
Interest.
Okay, gentlemen.
So you look at these things in the army. It happened. A general sat down for 6 years as a chief of army staff, suppressing other ranks.
And then when your tenure finish, even when you don't do very well, they renew it and said you should continue. What's the meaning of that? It doesn't make sense.
Now this issue.
And when you say it is at the discretion of the president.
Yes,
we agree it's at the discretion of the president. OJ, what of the psychological perception?
How about
Nigerians don't have problems. Sorry, I'm coming. Nigerians don't have problem about. See, little things can make a Nigerian very happy. As small as insignificant as appointment. When each time any president wants to make an appointment, that's why the best economic policy so far, I give it to President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
He assembled all kinds of people from different spheres of Nigeria. And look at it.
And they did well.
They are still enjoying it today. Telecommunication, banking reforms, name it.
Actually, I know you have a lot to say here, but we still have to move on. Let's look at this critical factor, the issue of competence. Does it matter where you come from?
Meritocracy.
Yeah, if for instance I'm from Benue State, and I know that this person from my extraction is competent to do this job,
I'm sure you are an Idoma speaking part of it.
You understand? It's
You have a lot of
competent to
We have a lot of
You cannot all round.
Guys,
I
I am making this example because the finance ministry that we are talking about, Oyedele, who is being nominated to be, don't you think that guy is a competent person?
That is not even okay. We have competent people everywhere.
Exactly.
No, but you
Like
can only work with
like
people,
Chief
with
stated
people you
here.
know now. Yes.
Like Chief stated here,
Yes.
you can find competence
Everywhere.
among each and every ethnic group in Nigeria. We are a country of very intelligent people. There is no tribe that they cannot find somebody that's competent enough to fill that gap. Do you understand? In fact, there are fears being expressed that at any moment the chief executive of these three institutions leave office, it will also be filled up by a Yoruba man, because right now they are filled up by two South people and one Northerner. These are NDIC, SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, and then Debt Management Office. These are the only three economic institutions that are not being manned or headed by Yoruba-speaking people. This is dangerous.
Let me even put it to you.
Yes.
Imagine you are not around now. Does it mean that you don't have an assistant? You have a co-host who will also continue this
And
program.
I'm not from his region.
Maybe he's not competent.
No, he is. No, that is an understatement. You know, you want to withdraw the statement. I'm sure he has withdrawn it.
He is speaking historically.
Yeah, he's putting a rhetorical statement. Yes. No, he has even withdrawn it. Yes.
My brother, let me say
Yes.
That is what they will say. Is that what they will say?
You are talking sarcastically.
Allegedly in the southeast was when the President Muhammadu of President's memory, after creating the security chiefs, we didn't see anyone from the southeast. When Tinubu gave Ogala, the chief of naval staff, you could see the whole thing down.
Exactly. Because he knows how to manage. Yes.
Office is one of the ways to unify Nigeria.
He knows his own terrain. What of during Buratai, when he was even the head? Because he's from that area, he was able to make some effort to bring down the insecurity situation, even in the country, but particularly in respect from the area where he comes from. So when you put people from various areas, they are able to navigate and bring solution. Oh, we are looking for a solution. Yes, one who is appointed, yes, they could be very capable people. But what we are trying to say is that there are other more capable hands, even from this country is not daft.
Gentlemen,
and he should not be playing with our intelligence.
We all know this word, inner caucus.
No, OJ.
Yeah. Can't we put that?
Let me tell you something.
Can't we not consider this too in politics?
Let me tell you something. The greatest fear of whether spirit or man is unity. The Holy Book taught us that. We know when the Tower of Babel, they had one language. You see, let me tell you something. The most developed countries you see, no matter what is going on within in America, when it comes to the general cause, everybody speaks for America. When an American comes down from the aircraft, the first thing you see when you open his traveling bag is what? It's the flag. He's proud of his country. One of the ways we can to unify this country is so simple. I agree because of what we saw in the part-time past when it comes to the military coups. And that was what gave rise to tribalism in terms of appointment, whether you like it or not. Because these days everybody wants to put his brother as his chief of army staff. It is a trend. The only person that tried to deviate a bit from it was, I think, was Goodluck Jonathan. But at the end of the day, brought Bimima, his brother. So this is a trend. We see these things, and we.
In that aspect too, we should also commend the president. He brought the two northerners who to be fair to him,
yes,
who chief of honorable minister for defense, the state minister and the main minister were northerner until he dropped one. You understand? So he tried
even
in that
the military.
aspect.
He also brought the aspect of
okay.
Even when he dropped the other one, he still filled the gap with another northerner.
With the northerner. But what we are trying to say in essence, to agree with you, we should just try to balance the situation, especially as it has to do with our economy, because it's going. In fact, the tire is about to punch. The tire puncture is on the wheel now. We're on the wheel rolling, group now, and heading for gutter. So he should please.
The point. We are talking about a very sensitive sector.
Yes.
Sensitive sector of economy. We know what happens when an entire economic sector is being dominated by one people. That's what we are saying. Because if you're talking about government being too tribalistic and then appointing people from the same region to power to position, this is common. It has happened with everybody. And like you said, I think the only sense I saw was during Goodluck Jonathan. That was the
Obasanjo.
I like Jonathan's one. Jonathan's government was more fairer to me as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. Is it more than Obasanjo?
No,
Obasanjo was a collection of all kinds of experts from different.
Apart from those,
he laid the foundation.
And then Jonathan capitulated on that and even made it better.
And then that is why we got worldwide. We are fully we are fully recognized because of what Obasanjo laid on the ground, and Jonathan followed suit.
I agree with
that. Okonjo-Iweala of the whole world is there and all that.
But no Nigerian president had hijacked the economic sector in its entirety and populated with its own people.
So I think the discussion here now is the issue of the economy, like Malam Ibrahim have just pointed out. The economy. Why do you guys think that the president is more interested?
It is the lifeline of the nation.
More interested in the economy, because I have the list of those from the Southwest. They are all holding positions that is related to the economy.
The economy is the lifeline of every society. It's simple. If you control the economy,
is insecurity not important?
It will naturally solve insecurity.
Everything boils down
once the economy is okay,
insecurity will go flat.
Everything is
for example, please, just for example. And America just issued one word. We've been moving lackadaisical and how do I use on a zigzag way. Then suddenly one statement. Insecurity is dying down gradually. I pray the door is surface like that again, no? And then very soon you see economy improving, and then let other people continue. I know. I will still have more to say.
There are people, particularly from the north, that are thinking that perhaps this approach shows that there are plans to shift everything back to Lagos. This is another school of thought.
Yes, that's
this is another, because already most of those headquarters of those financial and economic institutions have been moved gradually to Lagos. So you understand. So it's like they are trying to make it has always been the economic capital of Nigeria. We know that Lagos, but then Abuja as the center is the political capital of the country. So it is expected that most of these institutions should have been established or have their headquarters right here in Abuja rather than Lagos. Anything that has to do with commerce, anything that has to do with business transaction may be in Lagos. But taking government institution and MDAs, economic institution, back to Lagos, that is, I'm not saying it will happen, but that's what some other people are viewing it. That are thinking this is the idea behind this intention or this drive. That's why it's putting people from that region, from those regions, in those positions. It's not my thinking anyway.
But again, Mr. Ibrahim, Mr. Uche, we're talking about the federal government. What of states?
Yes, that is.
Now let's go to states.
Yes, states. Are we saying, for instance, your state, Benue State, we have semblance of this kind of situation too?
Now, you see, thank you for that question. At this point, before I give you, because I need to open up a way in order to buttress my point, I am calling out the Chief of Staff, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who is a beneficiary of saying the truth when he was in the House of Rep. Now he is the Chief of Staff to the President. He's deviating from who the Nigerians know him to be. I'm calling out the Chief Security Officer too. We know him to be a wonderful man. Why are they not putting heads together? Now he's improving the area of security quite okay. But economy, who would have helped? Who we can advise on the ground? I'm calling out Ribadu and Chief of Staff. And the bulk of it, especially the APC government, I'm calling them out, including the National Assembly, the Red Chamber and the Green Chamber, House of Representatives and the Senate. They are not doing their oversight function well. If they are doing the oversight function well, some of these things will be done. And then the one for the appointment and all that, it will be handled, if they handle it very well from their APC government, they will do the right thing. Now, coming back to the question that you asked, yes, if those things, what we are trying to say is bad governance and wrong leadership. Tribalism. If it is corrected from up to down, everybody will amend. For example, let me tell you, when we were growing up in the village, playing football, doing other things, if you do what is not right, even in choosing football player at the local level, from your local government or your ward level, and you come to an area, you have so many people who know how to play football from the same compound, but sometimes you still bring other people from another side so that they can do well, so that this other side will not feel that they have not put their people. Before you know it, even if it's only to make people laugh, you put it can make people laugh while the other people are trying to laugh. They'll go and score a goal. If not, that is why you see people train. You are a football analyst, you should know what I'm talking. That is why you see people train pure water, train bottled water on people in the field who do well or who don't do well because of not balancing the equation. Now the thief nation have hijacked everything. They feel that it is their own birthright all the years to make sure that they have a governor all the time, and that is why things are not really moving well. The speaker is a thief man, the governor is a thief man, almost everything is from the thief. So for example, if we have an Idoma or an Igede or other tribes who can do very well, who merit it quite okay, you have been a governor and then you have a thief as a speaker. If the person did not do well, he will be afraid that the thief man will impeach him. So he will sit up. You understand? So, but when you pack everything and give to one-sided side, for example, right now, my own people, my tribal people who are the Igede nation are completely sidelined. We've never been a senator. We've not ever been a minister. Every time is between the thief and the Doma. And the funny thing is that as they are marginalizing us in the state, when the thief are doing to us, we move to Zone C. They are also dealing with us there, seriously. You know? So the truth is that, and even if you go to the Igede, they are still marginalizing themselves. So wait, hear me now. No, hear me now. No, I'm coming, please. I'm coming. It's a problem. The point I'm trying to make is that, look, let these things be corrected. And as it's corrected from the leadership from up, the down people will understand. The point we are trying to make, it will unite the country. We have to work in unity. Let's give capable hands from each various places opportunity to represent. You see, for a while, some certain person, I will not name at this time or call them out, lie low and be playing from underground and be playing and be learning apprenticeship from. You see, these days, the Yahoo boys seems to have dominated our economy from both the politics and everything. Who caused it? Is it the authority? Why? Because they did not allow those who merit it to come and do a good job. They live a reference store. Some of these could drop out who have hijacked everywhere, and then because they want to survive, they have looked for other means. Truly, the people, the community, the government should please look into what is right and do it so that our people can have a good solution. That is my prayer.
You know,
that's my appeal, sir.
It will interest you to know that this whole thing plays out in so many sectors in Nigeria.
Completely. I agree with you.
Two strong examples. Employment.
Yeah.
We have jettisoned federal character when it comes to employment. Completely.
Or should they scrap the place? It's very good. They should not scrap it, but they are wrong.
Admission into university.
Everything.
Have you visited Kogi State University admission list? Have you seen it before? Allegedly. Go and check.
What will you see there?
Okay, you will see, before you see another person from another state, you will see like, of course, you know.
That is their state university. Now. This is okay. The priority should be for the state.
I understand.
Of course, if you are talking about admission,
for example, I have the floor there. But there are students who also apply such state. I know it's a state university. We have other state universities that also give more, large opportunity to other people.
It's just because maybe they are looking for revenue.
Do you understand?
No, but sir, the point you are also trying to say is that the other people within the state should be carried along. Some of these things are one-sided though.
Yes.
Completely.
I'm talking of the state.
That's the point he's trying to say.
I'm talking of states that have 4 major tribes.
Yes, okay.
A particular tribe will dominate 75% of the nation.
Yes, okay, I understand that.
That's what I'm going to.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah. Now, all of the states I admire so much. That's why somehow I admire the Southeast, especially Anambra State and Enugu State when it comes to gubernatorial election. If you like, be the best candidate from this region. Once they zone it a particular region, if you like, bring the best candidate from another region, you will not win.
But is that healthy? That's
zoning. No, the reason why they do it like that.
Agreement for
yes, that is why you see. Please,
That is good.
That's why you see the election for people.
Anywhere you can find a better person.
That is why, excuse me, sir. That is why development is evenly distributed in such states.
Because
There is one place that is more developed than another place in Enugu.
It makes sense.
If the zoning is being practiced in Benue, like my brother is saying, it's okay. In the next 8 years, you get it. Most of the appointees come
Every
from
Enugu will have their chance.
Yes, in the next 8 years, it's okay. They don't
Doma.
my brother, am I correct?
Very.
Development, exposure, everything will be evenly distributed. But you see a particular tribe dominating governance for 30-something years. And you are telling me competence?
It's terrible and completely unacceptable.
Okay, now looking at the list of Mr. President's appointments so far, we have 88 of them from the Southwest.
Out of
From spread across all the sector, and all of them are all economy related.
That is why it's called your urbanization now.
Yes, DG
is doing it.
That executive, you understand, special advisor on this, minister.
This has a lot of negative perception. I hope you know that.
Of course it does.
It could be, some people can see it as, see, let me tell you, OJ, let me paint this scenario. If somebody says, oh, OJ likes money, OJ has a terrible appetite for money, and tomorrow OJ becomes the MD of this company, and the next thing we see, the head of accounts, Idoma, the head of salaries, Idoma. Will I be correct to say that the projection about is true or not?
True.
These are the problem. When there are, before people get into public office via elections, there are perceptions that flies around. Oh, this person, he likes money. Oh, this person, this leader is this, is that. And then eventually the leader gets into office, the next will start seeing, and this is common in our country. You now start seeing those things, those rumors, but perceived rumors playing out in appointments. You don't need to tell me, see, Nigeria, I like my country for one thing. We are one of the most intelligent human beings on earth. Nigerians are very intelligent. And our leaders sometimes, when they behave and do certain things, I don't know if they know they are dealing with intelligent people. And you come on the pages of national newspaper and television to tell me, oh, Nigeria will less, and you bring, they now pay some, artists to come and start singing songs that has to do with, let's be united, Nigeria is one country. Oga, if you want to unite this country, the easiest way to unite Nigeria is by appointments.
Exactly.
You spread
what I see happening as a result of this one-sidedness in appointment, particularly as related to the economic sector, is heightened ethnic tension among the populace. And then if care is not taken, trust in federal institution, especially federal economic institution, will be dying out from the people. Whatever is done in a particular economic establishment citizens will feel as if it is not particularly to cater for the interest of those regions. And then you can see that happening actually, because when, apart from what do you call it, grants, you will see that every time grants is being given, whether it is national or international, the most people that get the most benefit mostly are from the Southwest.
Allegedly.
Mostly, it's not allegedly. There was a record for that.
Okay.
It's not allegedly. Every time grants
I like this allegedly because
when you fell in love with the word, but what I'm telling you is the reality. So if this is not actually being considered and tackled, it spells danger for our unity.
Yes, gentlemen, our time is fast spent. So what is the way forward? How can we, ensure that this kind of attitude from our leaders. Stops? Is it that maybe they don't care? It is our turn, therefore we can do whatever we want to do. Is that how we'll continue as a nation? So let me begin with you, Honorable.
Let me put it to you. The leadership lackadaisical attitude or zigzag way of doing things by our leaders is completely unacceptable, and it will not help them. Mr. President, he should just stop all this and do what is right. Spread all the necessary appointment round. We can get capable hands. Do your samples here and there, and then you are good to go. The moment you don't do that here, you have deviated. Ruling the country with tricks will not help us. Let me put it this way and give you an example. The councillors, in particular, from 2008 to 2010, the 3 years of their own stay in Benue, did all their best and then something went wrong, and then they went to court, from industrial court in the state to the federal industrial court until you get to Supreme Court. The councillors won their case at the Supreme Court, and up till now the governor refused to implement the judgment by paying the councillors forum their deals. We are talking about economy. Once you pay the money from what the councillors will also get to take home, they want to use it at their various way. So that is how economy works. So when you allow things works the way it's supposed to be, the president should please sit up quickly so that the country could move forward. We don't have enough time again. Now they are playing politics. They are looking at 2027. The one where we get for hand now, let me use our own PG. The one where we get for hand now, let them do something about it. And let things go and improve for the people. Work. Even once the economy is good, those working behind you in the studio and the people on the street, everybody on the downtrodden, there will be improvement and people will be happy. You understand? And there will be a lot of improvement. Then let's have more Okonjo, recruitment of some other Okonjo Iweala from various places. Recruitment of Eze Kwesili, and what of the other fair woman that is from another that Fulani Amina Mohammed. And the list is long. The country is blessed. Sanusi and Lamido, the list is long, but because if you don't spray people, how do you get your best? And you leave our people, please, I want them to correct this quickly, leaving our PhD holders and those with big papers and professors. Even professors will come down in the evening and try to, on their way going home, they may be trying to do along. You may not know because the way things are going, so but let things be done in a way that the country can improve for everybody to live well. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, in 60 seconds, sir.
Yes, my own is for our leaders, particularly the presidents and the governors, to work in accordance with the requirement of the Constitution. Our Constitution has made provision for all these things. And then the federal character. Because the only time that you see governors and the president making reference to the Constitution is when it favors them. But once they are applying the requirement of the Constitution, things like appointment, things like other things will be taken care of appropriately. So they should be able to respect the Constitution and work in accordance with its requirement. All right. Once they do that, I think things will improve.
Chidi, you have the last word.
My advice to our leaders is to understand that unity is the bedrock of every development. Unity. And one of the ways you can unify or unite Nigerians is by appointments. It's a simple thing. You can see it each time we have a new president. You see it play out. People watch and wait. Who's going to be this? Who's going to be that? And that is why I said something. I said, in some states, when they announce the result of a particular winner, you see everywhere be moody. Everywhere be moody. It's not supposed to be so. It's a sign that you didn't give us what we wanted, what we voted for. Allegedly, you didn't give it to us. So appointment is a way of synergizing people, especially in this part of the divide, the part of the world.
Very true.
Appointments, OJ. When you come to a place, any organization, even in church, I left a particular church because the whole HODs are from one tribe.
Even in church, you see how this too.
It's worse.
It's in everywhere. It's terrible. It should be corrected. The point is,
I don't want to call the name of churches. The pastors are listening to me. When the HOD is leaving by virtue of transfer, they want to replace another HOD. They put the same tribe.
All right, we just have to go.
Sorry, that church is not a church.
Sorry, one second. Just a second, quickly. You know what they normally do is, see, they keep at the directorate, if it's agency, they keep a tribe, they do a tribal kind of a thing. When they put the head, the person who is going to be the next up to 5th level is from a particular tribal side. Exactly. That's the point. So that's what they do, and that's why I'm telling you that these leaders are ruling us by tricks, and it is completely unacceptable.
Every aspect of leadership, including church,
everywhere. So it should be corrected.
All right, gentlemen. In fact, time is always against us when the discussion is getting interesting.
Time is not our friend.
Yeah. So we just have to go, and I want to appreciate all of you for having something to say concerning this very important topic. Honorable Ochirigogo Otego Chirigogo, thanks for coming.
Thank you, OJ Matthew thanks the studio, the station, and Nigerians. We wish for a better country and a united Nigeria. Nigeria must be great again in Jesus' name.
All right, and then we have Ibrahim Shaibu. Of course, he's one of the gurus now joining the team.
Inshallah.
And he's joining the team. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, OJ, for having me.
Yes, Chidi, your pocket is biting, right? He's still biting you. Sad.
Forget this millionaire.
The economy, we believe the economy will progress.
Thank you very, very much. You just have to go now. Please join us tomorrow when we'll be here again 7 o'clock for another interesting time on television. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. God bless you. Bye-bye.